Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3. Hello and welcome to City Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party Network. I am Darren Moser, joined as always by my fellow Strandies. One day we'll get off this planet, Philip and Daniel. And yeah, it's been a tiny spell as we've been navigating summer here on SETI Alpha. Sometimes people go wander off into the distance. Maybe they're trying to, purge all emotion. Maybe they're just trying to get away from the other Strandies for a little while. You never know. You never know. But Philip, how is your summer going? Any rewatching or Star Trek goodness?
Well, we'll get into rewatching Star Trek, which has presented itself to be a challenge in the past.
That's what we're talking about.
But anyway, I will say it's funny. I was watching because I'm still doing my Enterprise watch, so I'm in season 3 now. Eugenics Wars. The episode, not the current one I watched. The episode before was Twilight. That's sort of the, if you remember, alternate future. So like Archer gets hit by the wave, and then he's in the future with T'Pol where Earth had been blown up and blah, blah, blah. And sort of humanity was scattered. Well, guess where humanity ended up living? SETI Alpha. So I thought that was a
fun. That's right. That's right.
Nice.
Which kind of makes us, isn't it, then you are kind of implying, or isn't it implied then that that colony would fail eventually because in hundreds of years, eventually, yeah, the planet's going to go, because we know that. So it makes it even more tragic.
Yeah. So, but that was a nice episode. It's interesting because that episode, even though it's Xindi related, it's not. It's really the T'Pol and Archer little, not will they, won't they, but it's kind of their little, Chakotay Janeway
lets them
episode.
have a romance, but not, and then backtrack it, and then be like, and just kidding, alternate timeline.
The episode I just watched, which came after, which was North Star, which is just, let's do a Western. Again, middle of the Xindi War, we're just going to do a Western. Where they just beam down.
You got to take time for Westerns,
planet.
Though.
Yeah.
That's what Star Trek has taught us.
But like Daniel, I don't know if you're still in the hot and heavy with DS9, but like when you get to like season 6 and 7, how many episodes are like, we're taking a break from the war thing and just doing this instead.
Something
saving the casino.
Wacky.
It is very funny. Very
baseball game in the middle of this war-torn drama.
How appropriate, because we just got done watching Far Beyond the Stars.
Okay.
So it doesn't get much heavier than that. And then we hop into, I think it's called One Little Ship or This Little Ship. It's the one where they shrink the Defiant. And
yeah.
They just, it's
Giant
the Honey I Shrunk the Kids episode. And so very silly. Very, very silly. So back to back.
I mean, hey, that's why, for people who kind of were ragging on Strange New World season 1, where they had the storybook episodes. Like, do you not watch Star Trek? Like, this is exactly what we get. We're like, okay, normal episode, wacky hijinks ensuing, except for, I'd say maybe Lower Decks, which is the inverse, where it's like wacky hijinks every day, except for the one serious mom-daughter relationship episode.
I think that'd be funny because I think as far as like what movies, a rip off, obviously you would say it's an homage, but what movies has Star Trek ripped off? Because there's the obvious list, like Die Hard, something, but like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Like if you said what movies has Star, people would not name that.
Oh, which movies have episodes heavily
Honey,
inspired
I Shrunk the
by?
Kids.
Yeah.
And then one I had forgotten about, but it was on Enterprise, Con Air. They ripped off Con Air. I forget the name of the episode, but it's Archer and Trip.
There's one where in Enterprise where they're like on a prison planet, and it reminds me a lot of some other prison planet episodes in like Stargate. There's The Chute.
Yeah, Voyager,
which is also very much like, there's an episode of Stargate that's very similar to that, where they use a Stargate to, like, some society sets up a Stargate on a moon, and that's their prison. So like they open the gate, shove you through it, and now you're on the planet and you can't get out because you can only go one way. So, well, I mean, is this the Simpsons did it, first kind of mantra where like there's only so many types of stories to tell. All right. Well, we are circling around. Like you were saying, Philip, it's an interesting time in Star Trek now because we were told, I was promised, just go to Paramount Plus and it's got all of Star Trek. Home of Star Trek. And I don't know. I just wanted a bigger conversation about streaming and because it's not looking good for streaming, guys, in general. Like it's as a business model, it is not like it worked for Netflix, but all of these individual channels now making their own platforms and having to constantly fill them with content that is not making them nearly as much money. It kind of reminds me when, like for newspapers, when the internet kind of came out and, subscriptions and paid things like kind of just went by the wayside and they had to change their entire business model to survive. But it feels like TV kind of did it to themselves in this regard. It's really interesting.
Well, and it's interesting because we're all old, we can go VHS to Paramount Plus in the spectrum of ways we have watched Star Trek.
We've bought Star Trek a lot, many different times, many different ways.
But I guess like, and I don't know, y'all are probably think more about the future than I do, but like, as long as Star Trek was somewhere, that was fine. And even if it was kind of mixed up, that was not as cool, but it was fine. But like, okay, Voyager's on Netflix. But if you want to watch the movies, it's on Prime or like, okay, but they're, where they are. But then they switch around. One will disappear for 2 weeks. And so then it came to Paramount Plus and you're like, okay. And it took a while. I mean, in my opinion, it took a while for it to land on Paramount Plus, which I guess license deals had to expire and blah, blah, blah. But okay, we all got them now. And now we have the Prodigy debacle. And then if that wasn't enough, and that was enough, I'm going to say that was enough. I mean, because again, and I won't go on a whole rant, but like I'm familiar with the like, Max and all these other like dropping, like erasing series.
Yeah.
And that's
this new mentality of we'll take it off our balance sheet as a tax write-off, but we are literally not able to show it or release it ever again. It's like, well, that's unprecedented and a dangerous direction to go.
Because like if you want to cancel it, that's fine. I'm hand quoting, it's not right, but that's fine. But like keep it on there. And then what's even worse for Prodigy, like because I'll get like people be like, oh, well, not me, Philip, but like, oh, you people, you should be getting hard media. You should be getting hard media. It's on your fault. You should be getting hard media. There is no hard media for Star Trek Prodigy Part 2 of season 1. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
And now it doesn't exist at all.
So is this the situation? Is that you were just describing, Darren, about the tax write-off thing? Is that what's happening here? Is that why it's been removed? So it is essentially gone.
They may it might be something slightly different than that. From my understanding, every time a company, like there's no other real reason. Well, there's two reasons to remove content from your streaming platform. One is a tax write-off, because you can basically say, oh, we lost this project, even though it's still there. You just turn it off. But the other thing then is they don't have to pay royalties to anyone, any residuals to people for that work because it is never streamed. And I do feel that part of that is kind of a holdover to when things went from broadcast to streaming. I think the royalties are good. Like royalties need to be there, but I feel that royalties didn't evolve. They were kind of brought straight over from the TV era, and that wasn't economically viable for streaming from the company side. Because they're like, okay, well, thousands of, millions of people are watching and you're getting like TV money, but we're not making TV money off of our subscription service. So we can't afford this anymore. And that's what I think it kind of all comes down to is, someone was talking about, like the most profitable, production company right now was Sony, as so far as they aren't making a streaming service. They just license their stuff to other services. You guys build and deal with the subscribe. Like, yeah, you're making money and you have algorithms. You can tell what people are watching. Great. But at the end of the day, if someone sits and watches, 20 episodes of a show and gets all that enjoyment out of it, but they've spent $8 to do so. Like, I never understood how streaming made money, the kind of money that they were wanting to make to replace the TV or the rental or the purchase on Amazon model.
You could almost, and again, I don't know. That's we could talk media, which is actually not my expertise. So it would just mean me talking out of my butt. But I can understand Prime, where it's free. I'm hand quoting. You're paying for Prime, but the TV is free, hand quotes. But then there's rentals and
right. They have all
options.
Three. Yeah.
But obviously you don't rent or buy on Netflix, or you don't rent or buy on Paramount Plus. You don't. It is what it is. I mean,
right. So their only source of revenue,
subscriptions, but
yeah. So their only source is the subscription. And although, granted, that has been changing because now you have tiered subscriptions, and they had to bring back ads. So you have you pay more or you get ads, and they're hoping most people get ads because they probably get more revenue from ads than they do from a higher tiered subscription. I'm just guessing. What do you think, Daniel?
Yeah, I was just going to say, just because this bugs me so much, even if you pay for the non-ad version, you still see ads for Paramount Plus, which you've already paid for. So I don't. Oh my god! I hate Paramount Plus, and I hope they go under. But
well, I mean, I'm not an expert. I only read stuff occasionally, but there's stuff out there that seems to put a ticking time clock on Paramount.
Yeah.
Not Paramount Plus, Paramount.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And they're not doing well financially. You have
Mission Impossible better earn them $1 billion this summer.
I mean, it will. We all know that, but yeah. No, it's
frustrating because it's so weird because this isn't that long ago. What, 3 years ago? That they finally, after a decade, put back together CBS and Viacom,
right,
and Paramount, because that had been frustrating the heck out of us, because the movies were this and the TV was that.
That's right.
And this is that, and it wasn't that long ago. 3 years? Am I crazy? 4 years? It wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
That's going to happen again.
CBS All Access. I remember that. I mean, that's where it all started.
And that's going to happen again in 2 to 3 years. It's just going to break up again.
Let's hope not. Let's hope. If it does, let's hope that it happens in such a way that Star Trek as a franchise
goes to one. Yeah, goes to one group. Maybe they just split off and have their own production company like Marvel, where it's just
Roddenberry, production.
Or even Star Wars is all one thing. It's even it's obviously Disney, but it's still just its own thing. So
right.
It's it's stayed together. It's weird that you can sort of fracture a franchise like that.
That's true. The movie / television dichotomy of Star Trek properties has. I'm trying to think of another franchise that had that issue, and I can't think of one off the top of my head. I'm sure it might exist out there.
I just can't think of something that was both popular.
Or maybe Star Trek was the cautionary tale, and other companies are like, "Oh, we're not doing that. We're keeping all the rights together."
And I think the frustrating thing about Prodigy. Is I mean, as we said, that they canceled it. Well, it's weird because it's not canceled per se. It's floating.
Really weird
because season 2
finding a new home, which is what?
Because season 2 is technically is in post production. I mean, I say done. It's done. Hand quote. It's done. So it's there, other than whatever you have to do at the back end. So it's a matter of shopping it around. But then again, I don't know the rules or the law or the agreements or the contracts. I'm can you?
But okay, so my question is, it's already on Nickelodeon. Is that, or am I
I don't know. I was just trying to remember that because that's a whole other component of that is it being on Nick. But I don't know. I don't know what the arrangement was.
Because I don't know who owns Nick now. Because I'm sure that's been has an umbrella company.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just put it on Netflix. Obviously, we don't understand the complexities of the deals.
Remembering the golden era. So little did we know that the golden era was when all Trek was on Netflix, and it was so much, much better. Yeah.
Because again, the first is because I mean, I went ahead and because I like Prodigy, so I had just not bought stuff because I was sort of like, you're watching a budget, and also it wasn't available here in the UK officially. I mean, I say officially, like you can order it to the US, but I was waiting for it to ostensibly come to the UK, but like
be on the shelf.
The action figures have not come to the UK, so I want to go ahead US Amazon and bought them all. And then that, I don't know what the state of that is because they've only released. So I got my doll right here, like
right. But they only have so many. They haven't released everybody.
Well, doll comes with Murph, so it's doll Murph, Gwen, Jacob, Pog. There's another one.
Rock Talk hasn't come out.
Not Rock Talk. The one that's in the machine.
The Medusan.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't remember her name for some reason, or their name. But anyway, so those were the only ones they made. I feel like I had. Is that all?
Yeah. No.
But yeah, Rock Talk
or any
Janeway.
of the. Or any of the villains,
But like that was supposed to be like I think originally Rock Talk was supposed to be in, but then they're like, it'll be in the next wave. Well, is there going to be a next wave now? So I mean, like I said, I bought those action figures. I bought Part 1, Season 1 on Blu-ray. I ended up buying the they have I mean, it's a children's book, but they have books or they have little Prodigy books. So I bought the bundle, like it's all of them together because I think there's like 3 or 4. So because like, look, I'll support. It wasn't crazy expensive. So I was like, I mean, look, if that's going to help, I'll do it. And so that was my Prodigy stuff. But again, Part 2 of Season 1 doesn't exist. Will it ever? I mean, but like that's frustrating that there's Star Trek. I mean, knock on wood, it all gets solved somehow. But like. There could be Star Trek that you could never like. I'll have to go to like a convention in like the back room, be like, I got you a disc full of
Season 2
Prodigy episodes. Because I mean,
well, and it's so weird because I Prodigy it baffles me because for a kid show, it has had the longest
Emmy
rollout.
Award-winning. What did it win? It won something.
But I mean, like how long it's taken this. It's like they're trickle dripping it out. And it's like kids are like graduating and moving on. like it's taken way too long.
It's a multi-generational show.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, well, and what do you think, Daniel, of like, because I know you remember the CBS All Access, which I want to say there was no worse user interface than CBS All Access. It was, I blocked out from my memory, but it was not useful and easy.
No, CBS was terrible. But as a side note, kind of like, I think if this slows, pumps the brakes a little bit in terms of the amount of Star Trek we have coming out, I think is probably for the best. It just feels to me like we're kind of getting like, how long can they sustain 5 separate shows at the same time? And like, I feel like I'm getting kind of burnt out on all of it. I don't even watch half of it. So it's just so much content that maybe this will sort of, I don't want anything to leave. That sucks because everything was fine there and watchable. But now it's like,
we were just talking about, Enterprise again. There's a glitch of something.
Oh God, this week has been
season
crazy.
4 of Enterprise disappeared, and then it came back, and we were missing like an episode from season 3.
And this is the thing. Again, I'm not smart enough, but at first blush, it appears to be more than a glitch, because if it was a glitch, it wouldn't be both the United States and the UK, because those are separate Paramounts. Because you don't have what's on Paramount, I don't have the same that's on Paramount. Those are 2 different systems. And so for both Paramount, and I don't know, maybe it's other countries too, but those are the only 2 I converse well in. So Paramount US and Paramount UK both lost season 4 Enterprise for probably, 48 hours. And now both, I say both, I don't know if anyone's checked on the US, but both are missing the last episode of season 3 of Enterprise.
Now, Philip, if you were ever missing something like that, you could just turn to this week's sponsor, NordVPN, and then you can just go to any country you want and get done. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, but that's because again, I don't know if it is because like U.S. or U.K. I know, but those are just two. So if you're watching, I don't know how many countries Paramount Plus is in. That's not like 1 million countries, So like,
no, I don't think so.
But also, I don't know where. Like, if you're in Canada, like I don't know, do they have Crave or something? But like, every country report in about your Star Trek. Like, what's available
like some
right
have
now?
like Pluto TV, and some have like other things, and it's just.
I'm like, do I have to buy Enterprise on hard media now? Because like,
it's interesting though, because I feel like. You're gonna see two things. These are my predictions. You're gonna see a kind of a resurge of people buying physical media as they're kind of like, oh, this utopia of everything is just always on streaming, is just not materializing. I mean, I've had this discussion about Disney Plus, where Disney had it locked down with their vault system. Like they were making money hand over fist. You take it away for a couple of years, you bring it back, people buy it again because they're going to miss out. And then they say, oh, it's all going to be in Disney Plus. But then you also have a lot of things that I think should be in Disney Plus, like old, Tomorrowland TV shows, or just, stuff about the parks, like stuff that never really had a market. Like it wasn't worth making a packaged DVD. Like no one was going to buy it, but that stuff is still not even on, Disney Plus. So
is all of this Star Wars stuff available? Like everything
It
like,
is.
comprehensively?
Check it. Yes.
Like even like the holiday special and
not the holiday special is the only thing that is not, but I don't think that'll ever happen. But
now Disney is Plus and you tell me, as far as I know now, they may be like, as soon as I say this, it'll happen. They're the only ones who have not erased anything yet, or am I wrong? Because it started with
my
HBO.
Knowledge, I don't think they have.
And now it's Paramount, and then someone else, I'm sure. I can't remember who. I don't think Netflix either. Again, I'm not an expert on media, but I don't think Netflix or Disney have erased shows, but I might be wrong. And they may just be, because they're the big two, and everyone else is not.
Netflix is just known for just stopping shows.
Which is,
right.
I mean,
but
fine.
they will still keep it.
Right.
Theoretically. Yeah.
I was just double checking if the holiday special was there. It's not. They do have a Star Wars Vintage sub channel, which has like droids, Caravan of Courage, like the Ewok movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. They even have, they do have the Story of the Faithful Wookiee, which is just the animated portion of the holiday special.
Oh, interesting.
So you can watch that, but they're not going to give you the whole. Edited for cutting out 90% of all the other stuff.
Edited
that's the part with Boba Fett, right?
Yes. That's the part most people want to see, and then everybody else just tolerates.
Can you watch the theatrical release of Star Wars?
No, you cannot.
Oh boy.
I was just curious. I know
people call Drew for that.
I don't care, but I was just curious.
But no, it is the special. Actually, I think it's even the special Disney Plus version. Like I think they even made more tiny tweaks when it came on Disney Plus.
Now, I will say that is probably, and again, I'm not a Star Wars, say this would be up to y'all. Disney probably does change what Star Wars they have. Like it's you can watch the movie, but like which one it is may change, right? I don't know if it's been the same movie every time.
I mean, there's, I think what they call it, the McClunky version of A New Hope, because there's a part where Greedo says like an extra line and it sounds like he's saying McClunky, which has not been in any other version of Star Wars. Like we're like, where did this come from? So so even the Disney Plus version is slightly different than the special edition, which is what most people know.
When you go to watch the motion picture, do you have an option digitally to pick which, or is it like separate? Is it a separate version
for like director's edition versus?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I read this. You guys tell me because I can't. I mean, I'm not that you necessarily want to do it while we're recording, but like, I don't know if you have Paramount Plus. You can pull it up. I heard that somewhere where they pulled the 4K version off of Paramount Plus. I'm not saying that's true, but that's what I heard.
That's a good question. Like for things like Wrath of Khan or anything with a director's edition, do you have the option? Like I would think so, but I don't know. I don't have Paramount Plus. So
yeah, there are two. Okay. There are two motion pictures up here. It's like the original version and the director's edition.
That makes sense. I mean, that's something. But yeah, so all that to say, like, I feel like my prediction is, you're going to see a lot of people kind of shifting back to physical media. To a degree. I don't think it's going to go back to like the glory days of like, everyone buying DVDs and stuff. But I think also, I don't know, doesn't it kind of feel like streaming is kind of this semi-failed experiment that isn't really sustainable, that's eventually going to kind of
like the Excelsior,
maybe not go away, but like shift? Like,
well, I think the main issue is that it's just oversaturated. There's just, there's just too much.
Right.
You can't have,
like, we all joke about having, it's like back to cable where you had to pay for every single channel. It's like, well, now you have to pay for every single studio.
Yeah. You might, at the end of it, there, HBO, Disney, Netflix, maybe around, but Paramount to me just doesn't have enough. You know what I mean? Like we do it because it's Star Trek, but
well, it reminds me of UPN. Like when they tried to launch UPN.
How many things has Star Trek killed?
Well, no, but it's the opposite. I know. Star Trek was the only thing they didn't kill. Like, you look at I remember looking at it on Wikipedia, like the opening lineup of UPN, and like, I think all but one show and Star Trek got canceled within the first year or two. Like and Star Trek's only because it's the only, same thing with CBS All Access. Like, we all know that's why people got CBS All Access, was because of Star Trek. Like, there's no other reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, well, I'm thinking multiple thoughts here. I have two topics. My topics are A, are we going to get physical media? And 2, the future of announced Star Trek projects. Okay. So let's go with physical media. Because you talked about that there. Like, how do y'all, I don't know, Daniel. I feel like I know the answer to yours, so you may or may not want to answer, depending upon the court of law.
Yarr.
But like, how do y'all? Yeah, I'm sure that's your answer. But anyway, like, how do y'all have your Star Trek currently? Because like, back in the day, 20 years ago, I did have like the full TNG, like the big boxes that were like friggin' volume DVD. They packed those original ones in, took up like a shelf just for the 7 seasons. But I ended up selling them because needed the money, needed to get rid of the space, years ago. So I don't have any. But then what happened again, what we've talked about with stuff disappearing and shifting, just because doing a Star Trek podcast, we talk movies sometimes where we would watch the movies, and they'd be on a service. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes 3 and 4 are on there, but 5 and 6 aren't. So I'm like, so I end up having, I have all the Star Trek movies, and all the TOS, TNG, Kelvin, all of them. I have all of them on physical media. Because that just, but I don't have.
And they've come out with group box sets on Blu-ray recently, so that's fairly easy to accomplish.
But I don't have the TVs, because that's and look, maybe I got to do it because I love Star Trek, but like, that's an investment to get the entire TV franchise.
Right.
And I'm like, do I have to start doing that now?
I think Star Trek will always be somewhere.
Yeah,
well,
that's
granted, we say that
not
Prodigy. I know. Well, let's say this: Legacy Star Trek.
Right.
I think they would raise, like, imagine if they wrote off Enterprise and it was all gone. People would raise such a stink over it that, like, there's no way that they could
what
do
about, Darren, and not to pick on you, but just as what if they erase TAS?
Okay.
I mean, who's gonna, and I don't mean this in a bad
8
way. Who's gonna raise
megabytes of
Kane?
22 episodes, really easy, just, misplace it, boop.
Yeah.
I may be misunderstanding this, but I feel like this is not a thing that could happen. Like older shows, like the reason you can write off Prodigy is because it was specifically being created for the streaming service.
I think you're right. I get that same vibe, Daniel, where it's like, you can't just say we don't have this in our catalog anymore. It has to be like, we made this, it lost money, we are like basically bankrupting this project and it is now gone, and so we can't legally still release it and show it, because that's as if it still existed. We have to erase it from, like, I'm sure there's some legal whatever. But I think you're right. It's like things that were just produced. It can't just be
21st century, not counting Enterprise, 21st century Trek that I like. Asterisk. I need to buy on physical media is what you're saying. So like, I need to get Lower Decks now.
Maybe.
So physical media, of course, is essentially the best way to do it, but not the most convenient, of course, and pricey.
Well, although I'm trying to think.
Yeah. I do like that they make thinner packaging nowadays. Because like I said, they used to be like this. I know you can't see this on audio medium, but like now Blu-rays are like this. And so it's much easier to put on a shelf.
Well, I have all of TNG on Blu-ray. Actually, I think except season 7. I never got around to buying it.
It knows what it did.
But I can, so I have all of that. Because I would just slowly collect them one at a time, after they went on sale and got a little bit cheaper. Because
they dropped.
Like it was like what, $75 a pop or something when they started, and that was a lot. But granted, we look back in the day of people who bought episode by episode on VHS of TNG, so it's like there's nothing to say. But so I have that. I have all the movies except for Into Darkness. Because I just didn't care.
See, I ended up, I forget, it fell into my, I'm not like innocent, like I don't know if you used bookstore, but like the Kelvin stuff fell into my hands where I was like, I didn't go out to look for it.
I went out and bought
I got it somehow.
And then the other stuff I got through other people, like gifts and stuff. That's true. But as far as the other shows, like I had, I'm trying to think. I still have, and these are probably valuable now. I have them like in a box somewhere, but I still have all of those. What did we talked about them? The fan collectives, where it was like the Borg episodes and the Q episodes and the time travel episodes, and they're all on DVD. But like, it's a great starter pack for television without having to buy, every single episode.
So you can right now buy episode per episode or the whole season. I just looked up Discovery and Lower Decks to $3 an episode on Amazon. So you can buy them digitally.
I think you can also buy them on iTunes. I'm assuming you might be able to do that as well.
Isn't that a problem though? Because you can buy them, but you don't own them.
Well,
you
but
do. You
own them
license
more than a subscription.
But no, they can erase it. You know what I'm saying?
So
they could, but as long as you've already downloaded it.
Yeah, no.
Because you can download those files. It's a little
there
murky.
Are other ways that this stuff can be made available. And all I'm saying is that the reason when Netflix started and took off, it became more convenient. It became easier and more convenient for people to just pay for the streaming, and not have to deal with it, not have to do it physical, not have to find it elsewhere. Once you make something easy and cheap enough, people will go the path of least resistance. But if we're going back to another world where like, okay, here, you're on 7 different services, if Paramount breaks up or whatever,
and you have a ad tier and a free tier that's more expensive.
The only reason I put up with Paramount is because it has all of Star Trek, and every time they say, well, something else is leaving or moving or that's just more reason for me to get rid of Paramount. That's all I can see it as.
Yeah.
Now, because there are also 2 problems facing Star Trek, probably more than 2, but I'm just going to stick with 2 for right now. There is the future of Paramount Plus and the writer strike. So we know, I say
which is currently ongoing at the time of this recording. To say,
I say we know. We knew,
and the possible actor strike. I think they are maybe gearing up for that.
You're right. Yeah, SAG. Yeah. So I was going to say we knew we had a season 2 project, but that changed. But what I think we know at this point is I'm trying to figure out what the calendar was supposed to look like. So Strange New Worlds season 2 is active right now. I believe
that's in the can.
Are they filmed season 3? Or am I making that up in my head? I know there's a lot of stuff they filmed together.
I think they might have started season 3, but I don't think it's in the can.
Okay. Lower Deck season. I don't even know what they are now. 5?
5?
That's in the barrel, right? That's this year, right?
Anything that's coming out this year is pretty much done.
Well, season 4. Lower Decks is going to be season 4.
Oh, okay. But I don't know if someone can Google if they have a date, because I was trying to remember the calendar, because what originally changed, just as a refresh, what is it? 5 of Discovery? I can't remember what season it's on.
Yeah.
The final season of Discovery was supposed to be the end of this year. And then, by the way, it's going to be the final season, guys. So it's next year. So that changed the calendar. Then we've canceled Prodigy. So that's changed the calendar. So as far as I know, the only Star Trek, because Strange New Worlds is going on right now, there's only a couple more episodes left, because there's only a couple episodes every series, would be Lower Decks for the rest of the calendar year. Am I forgetting anything?
I think you're right. I think that's all we're really getting is Strange New Worlds and
halfway the year. And
Lower Decks, yeah.
And Lower Decks, there's only going to be, 10 episodes?
Well, but Picard ended the beginning of this year in like February,
That's
right?
true, yeah.
So we've had 3 shows.
And like Daniel said, we may be spoiled, and that's fine if we only get 2 Star Treks a year, but I mean
2 Star Treks, but last year.
Let me remind you of a little time period between 2005 and 2016 or whatever it was. So.
Yeah, the dark times.
Then I'll just remind everyone, we do have a announced, and I'm rolling my eyes when I say announced. We have an announced Section 31 TV movie, whatever the hell that means. Listen, it used to be a series.
Look,
now
it'll
it's a TV
come out
movie.
for a month, and then they'll write it off and take it down.
When you win an Oscar, they just give you a movie. That's just what happens. So.
I mean, they gave her a TV series. But anyway, and a Starfleet Academy series. TV series.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep, that's right. Mm-hmm.
So we have a TV movie or TV event.
Which I'm sure the Academy is not moving forward right now at all.
Is any of them going to move forward?
No.
And I'm not saying Star Trek's dead. I'm just saying Strange New Worlds, I mean, seems pretty healthy. I mean, there's promotions here in this country. I mean, I just see
Strange New Worlds is probably the healthiest, most universally enjoyed show right now for Star Trek.
And then Lower Decks. Well, I'm going to say it's cheap. I know nothing about TV. I assume it's cheap. I don't know if it is or not. But anyway, so it's Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds, but that's all I got for Trek right now. I mean, and Discovery presumably is in the can. It's just a matter of they just chose to air it later for whatever reason. Paramount Plus still exists.
Well, I still remember back when Prodigy first came out, and I think it was Strange New Worlds or some other show overlapped its run, and we were like, what are you doing? Like, throw all your effort behind this show. And they're like, no, the last 3 episodes. Yeah, I think it was, I can't remember if it was Discovery or some other show came out overlapping the end of that show. And we're like, well.
And at least from a business, and again, I don't know anything about the business. I'll say it every time. It just didn't make sense from like if the thought was we want Star Trek running every month because those Trek subscribers are stupid like Philip, and that's why they're subscribing. Why would you overlap? Because you're giving away 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think they overlap. I might be misremembering it.
1 week.
But yeah.
In fact, if you really want to burn people, do about 2 weeks. So if they cancel, they can't mess up the month, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's interesting. I mean, we all kind of rallied around streaming as like this one shop stop for Star Trek, but it's really not turning out to be that. Like, heck, the Pluto channel like seems to be more of a one-stop shop for Star Trek than, its own official. And I think, like you said, the Resistance, like once it's not economically viable for a user or easy to get their stuff, like they're just going to go to, like, that's the other thing is there's so much competition, so many other things to do and watch. Like,
now, what if a worst case? We don't really think about this, but what if the worst case scenario happens, and there is no place for Prodigy, and that's it, and we got what we got, and now we can't even get that, not even what we saw again. Of course, it does exist. There are places, but
easily and legally, we can.
Yes, I'm not suggesting anybody do it. I'm just saying that they could.
And I'll just put again, I'm not encouraging it, but like they're not giving people a choice. After certain, like, again, if I want to watch Prodigy episode 11, there's only one way to do it right now.
But even if they, like, my point is, like, but we never got the ending. Like, why would anybody even want to
Where's
watch
Chakotay?
the first half of the show that didn't ever even finish? And
hashtag save Chakotay.
I imagine this will not happen because of the amount of money they've probably already put in, since they're already working post-production on season 2.
Well, but they're still talking about shopping it around, so maybe they're like, the only way we can make enough money on this is to sell it to another distributor.
Right. But I'm just saying, what if it didn't happen?
I'm kind of curious what's going to happen in streaming in general, because I'm starting to get like vibes of like it was when studios owned movie theaters. And then the government came in and said, like, you can't own the movie theater and be a producer, because that's kind of what streaming
Monopoly.
is. Like, they own the distribution channel and the production channel.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if something's eventually going to come through and be like, yeah, you can't do that. But I don't know.
Well,
That
like,
would
this
leave
is
Netflix in a good spot.
I mean, this is our personal, I say our, but this is our personal, how we do streaming. What we pay for is what I'm trying to say. So, like, we had Netflix for, since the beginning. Well, I say since the beginning. Yeah. But anyway, but we stopped.
Were you
Netflix.
mailed DVDs?
I did, actually. But I'm trying to remember when, anyway. I do remember doing that. Yes. But anyway, but we got rid of Netflix maybe 2 years ago, or maybe it was a year ago. We were just, watching our budget. But we still had other stuff because we had Prime, Paramount Plus. I don't remember everything we have right now.
That's what I was just going to ask. I was going to ask what everybody's services that they actively pay for.
I feel like I have a few, and I always feel like I forget something. So it's Prime, Paramount Plus. I'm filling up the stuff like YouTube. That's free. There's something I've gotten recently, but it's just hey, if anyone wants a recommendation, it doesn't cost a lot every month. Great comedy, great D&D. That's Dropout, but that's just what I have. And anyway, I'm trying to. I feel like I'm missing something obvious. Oh, Disney Plus. But anyway, long story short, what I'm trying to say is, I mean, everything seems like, because, as you said, Netflix, so there was the one dude, and then Amazon, and then blah, 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 everything exploded, and then Disney became number 2. But I feel like it's just going to reconsolidate into Netflix and Disney Plus again. I was like, should I just go back to Disney or
Maybe,
Netflix again? I mean, I feel like that's everyone's just come with their tail between their legs. Oh, we'll license you our stuff. Sorry about starting our own channel.
Yeah, no, I think, like, again, like, Sony's got it right. They're like, let's just license our stuff, and then we don't have to do all the overhead, and we get a big paycheck for Spider-Man or whatever, they own. Yeah, I have, Plus, not Plus, Prime, because that's part of Amazon Prime. And then we actually pay for YouTube Premium because it has no ads, and the kids will watch stuff, and that way there's no ads. So it's worth it to us. And also just, on my computer, it's like, everything loads like it should, like back in the old days where you just hit play and it just started, instead of like 3 out of 5 out of 20 ads, churning through.
Yeah, and not to sound like an old man, YouTube has gotten worse. Like, the ads have noticeably gotten longer.
Oh, yeah. I remember when they first had like 1 or 2, and then it's like now watching ad 1 of 5, and I'm like, that's worse.
Like, if it takes longer than, and I don't think I'm joking, if it takes longer than 45 seconds, like if a 60-second ad, I'm not watching the video. I mean, like,
no, you're right. You're right.
I'm out. Yep.
I mean, whatever.
Anyway.
There's an ad, but like not crazy. Go ahead.
But
and I'm not an HBO person, so I don't have Max.
We do have HBO. We got that as like a plug-in to our Amazon, so it like shows up in the same interface. But yeah, and then I think that's all we really have. We occasionally will do Disney Plus. We'll kind of cycle in and out of having it, but we just don't. Wars. Yeah, or just. But again, we have a bunch on tape, but not tape, but like DVD and Blu-ray. And I don't know, there's just limiting it down. Like, there's not really that kind of water cooler. Everybody has Netflix. Everybody watches this show. It feels like that's not really a thing anymore.
Yeah, everything's all spread out. I have Amazon Prime, but I don't watch videos on very rarely. Paramount, that's it. I think that's all I pay for.
I mean, I do have a few friends with like Plex servers that will.
I do run a Plex server.
Is way more likely, but that's kind of more fun though, because you get a big variety. But it feels like old Blockbuster where like, this is it. This is all you get. It's like, okay, I'll pick something from, I mean, there's not like there's not enough choices. There's so many choices.
I do, because every now and then with Prime, looking at like their rental buy, like I don't mind renting something every now and then, but like to me, it's always bizarre. I don't know their calculations, because I like, what's like a random movie that's been out for a hot second? Bullet Train with Brad Pitt. Is that the name of it?
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway, it's been out for a hot second. but I think it's still only buy. I'm like, I'm not buying. Like, you would have charged me like $3.99, yeah, for a rental. I mean, I'm happy to do that on a Saturday night, but like anything more than that, I'm not investing.
Well, there's also how fast movies go from screen to stream. Like, honestly, like the last movie we recently saw was Terminator: Rise of the Beast, and now, granted, we were seeing it like
Transformers, right?
Is that what I said?
You said Terminator.
Which sounds like a really good
Began with
movie.
Terminator: Rise of the Beast.
That sounds.
I mean, yes, an awesome movie. I just made
John Connor's a tiger.
Yes, Transformers: Rise of the Beast. We saw at the AMC at Universal because we were there for the park that day. But for the four of us, that was like $86.
Wow.
And I mean, it was okay. We enjoyed it, but I was like, boy, why not wait for really anything? There's literally, unless it's the Super Marvel movie, but even those, like I talked to a friend and we were listing recent Marvel movies and like, haven't seen it. Like since Endgame, we kind of just were like, I think it's like the Truman Show where we were always like, oh, that's great. Click. And we just stopped and just went on with our lives.
Like, for instance, for y'all that do have Paramount Plus, if you don't, never. But like in the U.S., I think you all have Dungeons and Dragons now, which was a good movie I saw in the theater. So
That's a great movie.
100%. But it's not in the UK, which just frustrates me because I was like, that's a good movie. My wife hadn't seen it. And so I was like, she would like it. But it's not here. I mean, it's on Amazon to buy. Right. I was like, well, you all are getting it for free over there. What the heck?
VPN, the sponsor of this week's episode, you can
well, as a tech question offline, I don't know if it works because like Paramount is so like, in other words, I'd have to get a Paramount US subscription.
Right.
Oh yeah, you might need a
yeah. So that's like I'm not paying like
now I'm paying for my VPN and Paramount US.
I say that I may be in a month from now because this is going off topic and I'll stop talking. But like Big Brother, because we're Big Brother people, but Big Brother US. But that's only in the US on Paramount Plus. So I will start that again. So I watch Dungeons & Dragons a month from now then. But anyway.
All right. Well, yeah, it's interesting to see where the future of Trek's going to go. And yeah, we'll all reconvene this council of streaming in a year after maybe the strike is over, maybe a new show has been announced, or 3 have been canceled.
And look, we've had varying opinions about 21st century Trek. And so when I say this, I don't mean it in like, because Trek sucks. I'm not saying that. But like, look, if Trek rests, that's fine. I mean, I think Strange New Worlds has a couple more years in it, but whatever. But if Lower Decks has one more season, Strange New Worlds has one more season.
If Strange New Worlds gets to like 4 or 5, I think that would be a nice number.
Yeah. And then if that's it for a couple of years, then it's fine.
Yeah.
I want them to find some formula for like a low production cost kind of show, not a low quality, but like a show that they can make quicker. And I want them to crank it out like with 25 episodes, like the old days. And everyone would be like, oh my gosh, like I'm holding on. The Star Trek's coming at me too fast.
Yeah, but I think this and I know we're closing, but like this attaches to, I cannot for the life of me understand Star Trek business. I mean, I know you don't compare it to Star Wars. So
there's no money in Latinum, but no.
But like it just doesn't make any sense that the merchandising is not there. The ad, like if there's just no flex. I don't know if they just don't have the money, so they feel like they can't do anything. But like that there wasn't a plush Murph 3 years ago.
Yeah,
not just coming out with
that
action
thing would have
figures
flown
this year
off the shelf. Flown,
but they just don't. Even if you were to do toys for just collectors, like, okay, we're not doing toy stores because they don't really exist anymore. We're just doing collector adult stuff. That would fly off the shelves and you could jack up the price because we're stupid. But like they are not churning it out. They're just like, we're going to sit here with our license and wait for someone to knock on our door. I just don't understand it. Like, it's
and I think it also happens with Star Wars. It's an interesting phenomenon where I feel like Star Trek and Star Wars in general, it's like they bought the name and that's all they care about. So it's like, so we can make more Star Wars and we can make more Star Trek, or that's what we own. But even though there's hundreds of episodes and characters and stories and whatever, like, we don't want to touch that. And it's like, oh, okay, sure.
Because, like, there's stuff, and again, I'm sorry, now we're closing, but, like, there's shows that I don't enjoy, Discovery and stuff. But, like, if there was a Discovery phaser, a Discovery combat, I know fan sets, but that's not,
right.
I mean, whatever.
We remember the highlight of the 90s where, like, Playmates was, like, cranking out
some stuff.
So much
I'd be
stuff.
like, Discovery's not my thing, but I'll buy that, Anyway, It just doesn't make sense.
All right. Well, Daniel, if someone wanted to find you and your NordVPN server, where would they go?
They can find me online at 1 of 10. That's the number 1, not the word.
And Philip, if someone wanted to find out what you're doing on this at the time of recording, July 4th, where would they find you?
Well, speaking of platforms that are dying, they can find me at NC Public Servant.
If someone wanted to talk to me about sci-fi and maybe the Sci-Fi channel, they can, and the whole debacle of that, they can go to drsci-fi.com, DRSCIFI.com.
Oh, is it nothing but wrestling tweets?
Oh, no. So, yeah, after midnight in your time zone, it gets all aliens and weird. All right. Well, I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gelfus.
I'm Daniel Brew.
Stranded here with only streaming services on City Alpha 3.